Welcome to Quilt Addicts Anonymous. This is our 12 Makes of Christmas series, and today I have a special guest. This is Courtney Walters. She's our knitting instructor here at Quilt Addicts Anonymous. Today we're talking about making reusable gift wrap. So tell me more about it and your Instagram handle so people can follow you, because she's a fabulous, fabulous knitter, but she's also getting into some quilting and sewing.
Yeah, so my Instagram handle is apropos of knitting. So it's like apropos of nothing, but apropos of knitting, because I like to post a lot about knitting things, surprise. And so I got into the cloth gift wrap just because it's a reusable thing. I like anything that's reusable because it helps you save money. It's also something you can make, and I make all the things.
You do.
So.
She's like collecting things to do more and more sewing.
Yes.
And I'm like, you just can't help yourself, can
No,
you?
I can't.
So
I really
it's all
can't.
good. And I've been doing more knitting since we've carried yarn, so I think it's going both ways, so that's good.
Yeah.
So I'll have to share the sweater I'm working on at some point.
Yeah.
So you got this idea for reusable gift wrap, and this is something that you can put on smaller packages or really bigger things too, depending on how big
Yes.
you're working with, right? But we started with some fat quarters. So you started with, we had a Lori Holt fat quarter bundle. This was her Christmas line.
It's adorable.
For 2018, and it really came out with some cute wrap, and you can kind of see how it goes. But first, let's talk about what size boxes you can use this with, and then we'll show you how to do the edges, so that way it stays nice over time.
Right. So you can use it with a lot of different size of boxes. It obviously will work with anything small, like this little guy right here. This is a jewelry box. It'll work on smaller books when you have the fat quarter size, but you'll have to wrap it a little bit differently. So it kind of depends on what you have at home to work with as well. If you don't have any string or anything else, a little tuck wrap like this is traditional Furoshiki style. You can also do a wrap like on this box, but a fat quarter wouldn't cover this box. You would need more yardage.
And I feel like we should pick out the box so people can like truly see that this is a large box here.
Yes.
This is a big box. It's like bigger than our heads, and
Yes.
it looks adorable. And this was using some cake woven. We are out of this one, but we do have another one that we're going to show you. And this is a width of fabric, right?
Yes, so I just squared it up to the width of fabric.
And I feel like, you know, when you're done with this, you could iron it and put it out on your holiday table as well.
You could. I was actually thinking it would also be really nice to drape around your tree, like if you wrap down a tree skirt or you want a little bit of extra pizzazz, you could use it like that too.
So cute. So these specifically, we're going to show you how to cut with those, because since they're woven, you cut them a little bit differently to make sure that that check is straight. So let's show them how to finish the edges off. So let's talk about that.
Okay, so this is why I really like the fat quarter idea, because it gives you a lot of options that are really, really simple. So if you have got no time and you have pinking shears, just go up and square around the fat quarter and you're good to go.
Yeah, because it won't ravel. It's like when you get your pre-cuts and they have that pinked edge. That is what they do so that they can be there for a while without unraveling.
And you can always finish it later if you want a finished edge then too. So it's a very versatile thing to do. You're not going to ruin anything. Another option that I did on this one is to do and quilters, do not judge me. I'm a knitter, okay? I did a...
We'll be honest. There are no quilt police here. It's okay.
I did a mitered corner. And this is my first time trying a mitered corner. I was pretty proud that it met up pretty well. It looks great from the outside. That's what really matters.
It is.
So that
and then you stitch some ribbon around the edge of those.
Yes. This one, you would probably want to do a little bit more length of ribbon, but I did about, what did you say, 18 inches or so?
Okay.
To give you a little bit more versatility, you might want to go a little bit longer. I found out after I made it. And I just turned the corner under, I just turned the corner under and sewed it really quick. And then on the ends, if you have some fray stop or anything to keep it from fraying, to keep that edge nice, that would be a good idea.
Did you do the same thing on this one? This one's a bag.
Yes.
It looks like.
So that one, I just took the fat quarter and I folded it in half, and I did French seams, so the inside won't be all unravelly.
We have a video tutorial on doing a pillowcase with French seams, so we'll link that in the video description.
Yes, and then before I did the final seam, I stuck in my ribbons. And then if you have something that is awkward, or it's just not going to fit in any of your other wraps, you could put it in a box or just stick it in the bag, and then you've got ribbon already on it. You're done. You're ready to go.
I feel like wine would go well in that one.
It does. There's a special wrap for
wine. You
wine.
could put a couple of wines in there.
You could. It would go around the bottle neck really well. So yeah, I did it large enough for that.
Yes, there we go. So how many? 2 bottles?
In there, you might be able to fit 2, especially if they're like the skinnier bottles. But we don't have a bottle here, do we?
No, we don't.
Darn, because I could show them how to wrap it in a flat piece too, but it's an option.
If you're coming to visit though, we do have 2 bars within walking distances, so you can send your husbands there and you can shop in peace, so it's all good. Okay, so let's go over that mitered corner, and we'll go from there. All right, so we've got everything laid out. You're gonna square it up first, right?
Yes, so you obviously wanna get rid of the, what is that called?
Selvage.
Selvage, thank you.
We're learning terms. Fabulous, fabulous dinner, and very creative. You're in good hands.
Give me something. Okay, so we gotta cut off the selvage because that won't turn under very nicely. So I'm just gonna give it a nice straight edge on the other side of the selvage. Make sure it went, okay, there we go. And then
you just keep turning and squaring it up from there?
Turning and squaring, that's it, yep.
So you're not going to any specific size. You're just kind of
the
squaring
exact
up.
size doesn't matter so much as the fact that it's straight. That's what you want most to get your seams or your hems correct. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this side, and I'm taking off about a 1/2 inch from each side just because that's the size of the selvage, and it gives me a nice little, nice straight line. You know, if you try to get too close to the edge, you might also be cockeyed a little bit, so you want it to be straight.
All right, so do you press first? How do you do your hems?
I do press. I do what I learned on YouTube.
Exactly.
Yay.
You learned so much on YouTube.
So I just like to turn it under about a 1/2 inch because I want to do a 1/4 inch hem. So I'm going to turn it under a 1/2 inch, and then I'll turn it under again a 1/4 inch, so it's a total 1/4. Everything's tucked in and nice, and then I'll press that straight.
All right.
And this does not have to be perfect. It doesn't have to fit any particular thing or body. So if it's a little off, it's not a big deal.
We're not doing heirloom sewing. It's okay.
No, or you don't have to worry about any points that line up or anything like that. So it's all good. I like to do the 1/2 inch press first, and then finish with the second turn under. That way, nothing kind of scoots around on me, and it's going to be as straight as it is without using a seam ruler. That's what that thing's called, right?
It is.
Okay.
Or a gauge.
There you go. Seam gauge, yes. Knitters like gauge. Or if you should.
Mine is never correct. This is my problem.
Your gauge, yes. We're going to work on that.
We talked about that.
We're going to work on that.
We'll see.
My aunt who taught me how to knit, her handle on Ravelry is, do you want it to fit? Because she is the gauge queen. And she always says, if you want something to fit, you need to have the proper gauge. Okay, so I'm just turning this second part under so that it's a 1/4 inch, give or take.
All right, so let's do the second side, and then we'll do a miter.
So I'm just going to do the same thing on this side. Oops. Get that straight first. There we go.
Do you like that mat to measure by?
I do, and I have basically the same thing at home. Mine is square. I believe we sell it in the shop.
We do.
So mine's square, and this is how I do this so I don't have to get out the seam gauge or my ruler. I'm kind of lazy because I like things to be kind of quick, which is funny for a knitter, I think.
It is,
to think
because
that
it takes
things
a long
should-
time. But you're a very fast knitter.
I am pretty fast. It still takes me a while to complete a sweater, but not months. Let's just say that.
This is called the June Taylor Cut and Press. It comes in 2 sizes, and you normally see me with the smaller one, which is the one that you have at home. And I had got a question in the last video, why do you keep flipping your cutting mat over? It's because it's an ironing surface on one side and a cutting surface on the other. So if you have limited space, or if you're like Courtney and you like to just have something to go by, this is really handy to have. I use it whenever I'm sewing at home because I have limited space. I know you do too.
Yes, I do. When I found out about this product, I was like, oh my gosh, I need one right now.
Yes. Well, we both have kids, and kids come with lots of things, and it just takes over everything. And so the more compact your things can be, the better.
Exactly. So to do my mitered corners, what I do is, after I've pressed all the sides, and you can kind of see this little square here in the middle, I'm going to cut straight across that to get rid of some of that bulk.
It's right where the ruler is.
I actually cut farther in.
Do you?
I do. I cut...
Well, here, go ahead.
Okay. I cut here. And so then when you're doing this, and maybe this is wrong in the quilt world, but when you're doing this and you turn it in, oh, gotta get that first. So you've turned this in. Let me get my hands out of the way. Okay, so.
Do you want to iron?
Yes, let's iron that out a little bit.
Let's get that a little pressed.
There we go. Okay, so you cut that guy, and then you've got your point coming in from your lines of pressing. You turn it over at that line, and then you turn your seams or your hems back over, and it turns into a nice, once my hands get out of the way, a nice mitered corner.
And you can pin that to help keep it in place. That works really well too.
Yep.
So we've got all the 4 corners done, and we've set the sewing machine up for a 1/4 inch stitch, and then we move the needle over even further. So it is the furthest position to the right that it can go. So it should stitch at an 1/8 of an inch seam, which is right in between, to give you like a nice little top stitch.
Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to make sure my pins aren't going to be too much in the way. I like to leave my pins in until I am ready to sew, just so that nothing moves around. On your machine, will that flat one be okay right there?
It should be.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna get this all lined up, and I'm gonna do 2 stitches back for a back stitch at the beginning. I like just to turn my corners as I come, so that'll be the only back stitch that we have to do. Now that I have that secured, I'm gonna take out my first pin and go ahead and start moving. There we go. Yours is a little faster than mine.
I'm going to slow it down for you.
That's good. I got it now.
Okay.
We actually probably could have done it.
There are speed controls on the new Baby Loft Jubilant.
Yes.
So that's always nice.
There we go. And we probably could have gone with a 1/4 inch here if you're a really, like, this is not a familiar machine to me, so I like having a little bit of extra space if my line's not perfectly straight. But if you wanted to get really, really, really close to that edge of your hem, you could, and get as close as possible and just stitch very straight.
I feel like this is also a really good time to use some of those decorative stitches that come with a machine.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
Because you could really have something really pretty that could then be double-sided.
And depending on the wraps that you do, or the way that you end up wrapping your gift, you may be seeing quite a bit of these bottom parts of the seam, especially too. So it might be a good idea.
And tell me about how you pin, because instead of pinning across, you've kind of pinned straight.
I pin it straight. I tried to pin it across because I know that usually keeps things a little bit more stable, but because of how small the hem is, it just was very difficult for me. So I ended up pinning with the pins going along the hem instead of perpendicular to it. Oops. So I'm gonna get down here to the final thing, readjust my corner a little bit to make sure it's going to be closed. And I'm going to stop when I get to the point where I am 1/8 of an inch in. Lift up my presser foot and turn. Then I'll realign, and I'll be able just to keep on going straight down the other side without having to do any more back stitching or any adjustments.
While she's finishing, I'm going to talk a little bit about the fat quarter bundles that we have. We have the Robert Kaufman fat quarter bundle. These are batiks. It's called Artisan Batik Snowflakes. They're really pretty. They've got lots of deep blues and some medium, and then also some white in there as well. So these are really pretty. They would make a great coordinated gift set. We also have the Lori Holt 2018 Christmas bundle. It's called Cozy Christmas. And it's really cute. It's got these cute little gingerbread men. It's got the lights that she is sewing with now.
That was what got me.
It's so cute.
It's adorable.
So fun.
The gingerbread men are cute too, but
They
the
are
lights
cute.
are just,
I
they're
like the
really
colors.
vintage.
I feel like the whole thing is vintagey.
Yeah, the bells too.
Yes.
Anyway, the whole thing.
Yes, it's super cute. And we've got those as well. We have a bunch of those. And then we have Winter Love by Marcia. I'm going to say this wrong. I'm not even gonna pronounce her last name, it's bad. But Clothworks makes it. And these are really cute too. There's some penguins that are little lovebirds. And there's also some like little snowflakes and some snow mountain scenes. They're just really cute. So we've got lots of fat quarter bundles to choose from still for the holidays, and they're just fun. And you finished.
I'm done.
Let's hold it up.
Okay. So it's, I mean, it is a fat quarter, just slightly smaller. But
and it is just got your edges turned under, and it looks really cute.
Yeah.
And we get to trim
Extra.
a seam or a little extra. Let's take a look at it on the overhead camera. That looks really cute.
Yeah.
And do you give this a press at all at this point?
At this point, you can. I usually don't because it's already been pressed before I sewed it. And if it was a garment, I definitely probably would. But I think it's flat enough at this point. This is when you could add your ribbon to it if you want. But if you also want to just have some pretty long lengths of ribbon and use it like you would a regular wrapping paper, you know, sometimes you can buy like little wrapping paper rectangles and just use those to wrap. You can do the exact same thing with this. And then tie it with a bow or a ribbon, and it's good to go.
So now we're going to show you, or Courtney is, because she's the star of the show. I'm just here today. How to do some of this wrap, because we were just talking like, how do you do this without tape? And apparently you can use tape if you want.
Yes, if you wanted to use it to secure it. So I like crisp corners on my presents. I am a little OCD and I want it to look perfect. So if you really want it to look perfect, you could use tape to hold it together. If you want to go as fast as possible, then you could just use ribbon, or there are a few different sort of traditional Furoshiki, I think that's how you pronounce it, techniques where you can use absolutely nothing. You either tie it together or you tuck it.
Okay, so let's try. Let's do the ribbon first.
Okay, so this is super simple, and this is another one where I attached the ribbon. It's got the cute little men there. So if you have the ribbon attached, it can actually...
She has some quilt gifts, by the way, inside. These are little birch socks and machiner's quilting gloves. Both awesome for your quilting friends.
So if you want to, and because it's been folded already, it's a little
Wrinkled.
It's all wrinkled. So if you have the ribbons attached, you have to decide which way is going to be best for them to fit around the gift when it's done. If you don't have the ribbons attached, you should be okay to do either which way, because you're just going to add the ribbons at the end. So I'm just going to fold over each side here, like so, and just like on a regular package, I'd tuck this one under to give it like a nice crisp seam, basically right down the middle. Then I'm going to take these sides where the ribbon's coming out that I attached and make a point. And so I'll do that on both sides.
So it's just your normal miter.
Just mitered corner, or just the exact same way you would wrap a regular present, really. Because then you would take this and fold it under, and usually you'd tape it. And then we'll take this and fold it under, and then on a regular package you would tape that. But on this one, we're gonna take the ribbons and kind of pass them over each other. Flip the entire thing over, like that. And then we're going to tie bow. I like to just to do a regular knot. I don't like to do a square knot here or anything like that, because it would just take that much longer for somebody to open the present, and I don't want to be mean. So I'm just gonna wrap a regular bow. It'll hold everything together well enough, and it'll be really easy for them to undo and then for you to package up for the next time you need it. So that is it.
And it's adorable.
I think
that would look really cute under the tree.
And you can use, this is just some grosgrain ribbon that I had at home from another project, to be honest, because it matched so nicely with all of the things.
We all have ribbon and random crafting supplies
so
that
if
we
you have
wanted to use and didn't.
Satin ribbon, or I had some left over from my wedding 13 years ago that it was sheer and really pretty, and when it ties into a bow, it looks really nice. Whatever you've got will work.
I feel like if you really, like if you were doing this for a quilty friend who would really appreciate it, you could reuse the ribbons that they come on.
Oh yeah.
That could be fun.
Oh yeah.
That could be fun.
Okay, so that is if you have ribbon or string. If you're a knitter, you can use yarn, you know, all sorts of stuff. If you don't have any of the above, but you have got your fat quarter wrapping cloth, you can do it anyway. And pardon the wrinkles, everybody, because this has been wrapped up. You could take it, and you always want to do it sort of on the bias. You could take it, and you can take the corners and tie them into a knot. And that's what I did with,
like
the big one. Yep. So I did two of the corners and I wrapped them. I passed the other two corners underneath. The first one I just tucked under. The second one I wrapped around to make it look into a nice little bow. And you can probably find plenty of videos and instructions online. Yeah, it's really, really easy. And then you don't need any sort of fastening whatsoever. If you want it to look a little bit nicer, you can do sort of a tuck technique where you're gonna take one corner and wrap it over. And traditional wrapping cloths are gonna be square, and you're probably gonna have a rectangle, but it will still work. I'm gonna tuck this part under here and kind of try to crisp up the corner as much as I can. It's a little awkward. There we go. Then I'm gonna take the sides and I'm gonna kind of do like I would on a present. I don't know if you guys can see this, where you kind of tuck it into the box, and then I'm gonna take it up over the top and kind of bring it across so that it is straight as I can. And then it has a nice crisp corner here. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna turn it this way so I can actually reach it and bring it up and across like that. I'm gonna tuck this guy underneath so he stays out of the way. And then this very last part I'm gonna bring up to the top. And I'll kind of adjust it a little bit so that it kind of comes down. And then this whole thing just gets tucked up and inside. This works really nicely on books, small boxes, anything that is rigidly square.
So what's the largest that you could wrap with a fat quarter?
With a fat quarter, you could get a smaller garment box, so like something like this. If it's a big garment box, you would have a little bit of gapping on the sides. But so anything that you have been able to fold into a particular size or is a book size or smaller, most definitely. And other things you may, instead of putting it in a box.
This big one was just with the fabric cut square, right?
Yes.
And this is big.
Yeah, but you would never fit anything small into that because it would just be too much fabric.
Yeah.
So having a couple of different sizes is nice.
I feel like this is also a good way to use your yardage.
Definitely.
But if you're someone, like I know my aunt is one of them, who likes their bottom of their tree to look like it belongs in a magazine, you could get like all the coordinated ones and they could look just fabulous underneath there.
Exactly, and that's sort of what I was thinking with the fat bundle that I bought because I thought, oh, they'll all go together, and then I'll have a few oddballs with the larger pieces. We
don't have any left of this. This sold out over Black Friday, but we do still have some case left from that same collection, which is really pretty. It kind of changes colors of green to red, so that would be fun. This is a woven fabric, so it cuts a little differently if you want it to be square. So we're going to show you how to do that real quick because you have to rip it. So it's
very
fun.
satisfying.
It is very satisfying. But because it's a woven, that means that normal quilting cotton, the design is like printed directly onto the fabric. And so it's not necessarily in line with the grain. But when fabric is woven, it literally has a grain. So if you have something that has a stripe, like the check that she used here, or this other one here, if you want it to be straight, you've got to rip it. So we'll show you how to do that. It's very fun. So it looks like you've already done this side.
Let's get out of the way. Yes, this side is left over from this big piece that I did. But you can see that this side is very cattywampus. So we are going to need to straighten that one up. And so all I'm going to do is make a little cut on the side. And I like to get it as close as I can on one side, but you could also start at the big side. Maybe that'll be nicer so we can actually see it. So it goes straight down this sort of orange part to the other end. So it goes straight down here. So I'm just going to cut right on the side of that orange part, maybe, I don't know, ½ inch in. Not even.
It is going to get a little fuzzy on the edges when you do this. So give yourself a little bit extra space.
So yeah, so I've got a pretty good little snip there. And I'm going to take it and grab each side and pull it.
I know, that sounds awful, but now let's look. We'll see how nice and straight it is. So if you have ever been like, how do I get this thing straight? Like, don't do it on printed cotton because it doesn't work the same. You got to trim that. But if you have a woven, this is what you do to get it squared up really easily. And now it's going to be perfectly square, and even with the straighter grain, if we measured this, it would be perfectly 90 degrees.
Yes.
So that's really
Sometimes
exciting.
you end up with a little bit of extra strength. Get that out of the way. So we can do that on each of these sides. It'll be square. And actually, it looks like that was the only side that really needed it. So then you can do the exact same thing we just did on the fat quarter. and you're good to go with a large square. This is not even as big as the one on our package here, but
I still think you could get quite a bit out of it though.
Oh yeah, this will be perfect for this size, which is not even width of fabric. This is half a width, I think. Right? This would be good for a garment box. So just like, you know, giving somebody a shirt that you bought at the store, came in a box, this will wrap it.
Sounds good. All right, and we did talk a little bit about you could do this for times other than the holidays. We pulled one that we thought would look really cute as a birthday gift.
Yes.
This is Galaxy, kind of. It's a digital print. This one, let's see what it's called officially. It's called Intensity. The SKU number is 18169-195 Bright. We'll link it below. But it's really cute. It sort of has a galaxy theme, so that would be really fun for a kid's birthday or anybody who's super into sci-fi. I think that would be fun. Those digital panels that you don't know what to do with, like you can always just center the bottom of it on here, and then it would look really neat.
It would be adorable.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Have we forgotten anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's almost impossible to go wrong.
Okay, it is. All right, so we've got everything you need to make this over at shop.quiltaddictsanonymous.com. All you need are some fat quarters so you can use your stash, or you can get ones that all coordinate together so you can have a really pretty coordinated Christmas tree. Thank you very much to Courtney for sharing this fun idea with us and being a guest star. Go follow her on Instagram, make her a star, it'll be fun. And then you'll see videos of how fast she knits and be like, oh my God, how is that possible? Because that's what I think. But thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun.
All right, so until next time, happy quilting and knitting.